Cody McGee, Director of Auburndale Parks and Recreation, former tourism and sports marketing guru, at least in the area of sports marketing, maybe not so much tourism, but great to have you aboard.
Thank you so much for the invite.
I'll throw one else out. You know, he was also on the Weber golf team. If you ever need him for a scramble, he can play. Yeah.
And a local guy, right? Grew up in Auburndale.
That's right.
So yeah, kind of like Ryan Taylor.
Yeah.
So it's all good stuff. Anyway, Cody, glad to have you aboard. Boy, we've seen a lot of each other in the last few weeks.
Well, we've got several projects together, so.
Well, let's jump right into it. You know, you've been the director for 7 years.
8. I just went through 8 in January.
8 years. Doesn't seem possible.
Right.
Took over from Mickey Etherton, longtime director, and you know, a lot of just really cool stuff happening. And you know, one of the things that nobody ever talks about, just like they don't talk about our sponsors. And sometimes our sponsors need a little recognition too, Jack. Do you remember who that one was?
Our friends at BSN Sports.
And Under Armour.
And Under Armour.
Yeah, nice Under Armour shirt you have there.
And you as well?
I have mine on as well. Thank you very much. Anyway, is the turf that all the adults, the kids get to play on. Sort of a change for the city of Auburndale. Different strategy and not using a lot of rye to make things look green in the winter. Looks good for a lot of the tournaments, but in the long run, it's not good for the fields themselves because it competes with the Bermuda 419.
Yep, that's
it.
it.
That right. And so things are really looking good. Those fields are awesome.
Yeah, our team out there right now is just, I mean, I would stack them up against almost anybody. They are doing fantastic. Mike Hurd is our superintendent. He's just inside of a year now that he's been out there. He's already gone through one rust mat, which is real important, but the grass out at Lake Myrtle is just looking spectacular. Everything's looking real fantastic. I would say it's been the best that I've seen in the local areas and even inside of the state. But that rye that you were talking about, that really is a cosmetic help, and that helps us out when we need it. But in reality, at this point right now, we just don't need it. The grass is going to hold up well, and it really helps us later after that big rust mat event. It helps that grass stay strong even after that event.
And you guys are going from event to event to event right now. So between FYSA, we have the NAIA East-West baseball in right now. You've got senior softball over at the softball complex. Tell us about the challenges.
We have Lake Myrtle is a 20-field complex, but it's not the only complex that we have. We also have 5 softball fields. We have 5 youth baseball fields. So everything's kind of going on at the same time. So we've got softball going on. We've got baseball going on. We've got soccer going on. But those are just the tournament side of life. So then you also have youth softball. Then you have youth baseball. Then you have youth soccer. And those events are going on at the same time. So, in that February, March, and April time frame, like rust mat alone is going to bring us 5,000 innings in 6 weeks. And I love saying that number because you really can't grasp how much baseball is being played. And that's just at Lake Myrtle. The rust mat is at several different locations throughout Polk County. So just at Lake Myrtle, with rust mat alone, we're going to go through 5,000 innings. At the same time, we're going to have 10 days of softball. We're going to have 3 weekends of 11 fields of soccer. We're also going to have 500 athletes in youth baseball going on. We're going to have 700 athletes in youth soccer going on. We're going to have 120 athletes for youth softball going on. That's all just in a 3-month window. So my guys have their work cut out for them, for sure.
Well, let's talk a little bit on the supply side of things. A lot of people don't realize that Auburndale has the amount of facilities the city of Auburndale has. Big undertaking, falls under you. But hey, never leaving any stone unturned. Now, building a brand new stadium at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex. In addition to that, and there's more coming after this, the ski lake. Tell us about those.
So the 2 current projects we have going on are actually getting ready to wrap up in the next few weeks. We have a 3,000 person seat stadium that we're building at the soccer side of Lake Myrtle. So what that'll do is that'll give us an opportunity to go after some type of events that we just haven't had the opportunity to go after. Those more premier events. You're looking at state championship type of things, or semi-pro or pro soccer events, and that will give us the opportunity to be able to house those events And regardless of how many fields we have, if we don't have that championship soccer stadium, we really couldn't go after those type of events. Same thing with the secondary project. We have our 2,000-foot long ski lakes, actually 2,200 feet long, 250 foot wide, and that will bring us an opportunity to go after some different type of events that at Lake Myrtle we just couldn't house. And not only will it be ski or competitive ski, but show skiing. It also bring out a whole array of different type of events that may be on the water that we just haven't really thought of yet. So it'll be a little bit different type of facility for us to be able to continue to diversify those events that are coming to Lake Myrtle. But it really takes that 300 acres of that complex and stretches it from north to south as much as we can.
And it's sort of a natural progression with the cable park right next door. So you've sort of got the, get on the water, begin to learn it without the boat, over to the ski lake for lessons and competitions and whatnot on that lake, and then we can really start to see the progression, natural synergy between the two.
Yeah, you're looking at, the masterminds of that plot of Lake Myrtle proper and all of the things that are around it, really, the dominoes have started to fall. So you have obviously 9 baseball fields, 11 soccer fields. We also have all with lights ready to be used at all times. We have about 70 events go on at the complex a year. We have 5 youth baseball fields that are on the north end. We have the now 2,000-foot long championship ski lake on the south end, the dog park, but adjacent to that we also have Sun Tracks that's just the north of that, which brings in another type of environment that we may be able to serve with that facility. It also has the ECP Cable Park on the south end, also has Margaritaville, which you guys just talked to them about all that. So really around Lake Myrtle, it does give a good opportunity to serve on several different fronts, but it also gives us an opportunity to bring some cool amenities to the people that are coming.
Mm-hmm. So with the soccer stadium, I take it that means the tropics, the outdoor tropics, then have a place to call home in the season with lockers and other amenities that stadium has.
Yeah, and it also gives them an opportunity, if they so choose, to kind of advance in their division. Now, inside those divisions, that requires different types of facilities. So beforehand, when they were at Lake Myrtle, they could stay in one division because the facility that they used as their home. This now promotes them to become another level if they would like to go after that. But not only the tropics, we're talking about the tropics while they have their own season. That's a kind of a small portion of the entire of the year, but that brings in a lot of other opportunities, and that's not just even just pro soccer. It's, you've got state championships. I'm really hoping for Dan Talbot to call me up and say, hey, we want the stadium, and be able to make that work. It really will bring us opportunities that we just don't have right now.
Well, Cody, when you take a look at the entirety, Auburndale, I think, has changed more in the last 8 years than it has in the prior 20 years. A lot of growth. You mentioned the Sun Tracks, Margaritaville, new Publix going in north of town. I'll just on and on about the development there and what a great community it is to live. And then you have the big 4 lakes that run to the north of the city, and actually within the city as well. It really has to be a challenge keeping up with not only the demands of the locals, but as sports marketing continues to recruit events in, that's stretching and stretching and stretching the staff, and even the staff, the city facilities, restaurants, hotels, all of that type of stuff. It's a snowball effect, and that snowball is getting bigger.
It's a real unique. My job is really 50% sports and tournaments and 50% recreation, as it should be. But Lake Myrtle, being what it is a real big engine for Auburndale. It brings a lot of things. But then there's also the recreational side. We're trying to serve the residents of Auburndale. And while I would say that Lake Myrtle is definitely a tournament facility, I just named off, I've got over 1,000 kids that serves through 2 different seasons of soccer and youth baseball. So 500 plus kids in our youth baseball program, 700 plus kids in our youth soccer program. And both of those have fall and spring and summer seasons where they just play as much as they can. So the benefit of what Lake Myrtle is and what that brings in as far as the tournament and economic impact and those type of things, those fringe benefits then start falling into place for even the residents of Auburndale to be able to afford. If you haven't been to the youth baseball complex in Auburndale, it's a championship complex. It's beautiful, the same quality.
Adaptive sports too.
Exactly. You know, buddy ball. That is allows us the opportunity to really go after a market that is that adaptive type of sports and serve all styles of residents in our city.
You know, it's really not only a program, but this, what I always call the supply side of things, that is just absolutely phenomenal. It's a model, and is viewed as a model nationwide. We know that, but you know, Cody, as we look to the future, and I'm always looking down the road constantly. Is there more coming? Is there room for more growth?
I've still got about 30 acres plus that is just hasn't been built on yet. So Lake Myrtle still has an opportunity to be able to grow with what we need to accomplish for what the market is calling for, whether that be local or state or international. You know, usually I think the partnership between the city of Auburndale and Polk County Sports Marketing has just been beyond reproach. It's a great partnership, and we have a really good knack at coming together to figure out how to meet the needs of all the aspects that are around. But I would imagine that soon we'll see probably pen to paper what those areas may look like.
Well, I have a general idea. He didn't take the bait, but that's okay. Cody's been around me long enough to know when that's
I was
coming.
going to blame him for saying you had 30 more acres. I'm like,
Well,
no, don't tell him you got 30
That's
more
about as
acres.
close as he got, but I was hoping for a little bit more, but that's going to have to wait till later. So as we wrap it up, Cody, we really appreciate it. And, you know, it was interesting because I had the opportunity to attend the City Commission meeting about a week and a half ago to discuss some of the things that were going on out at Lake Myrtle and in the area. And it's a city that has so committed to their citizens and the businesses in Auburndale. I mean, Jackie, you almost have to be there to feel the passion that they have for taking care of the citizens. But this group, kind of like the Board of County Commission, Polk County Board of County Commissioners, also understand the business side of sports, which is our state's #2 industry, second only behind tourism. So, you know, when you have that understanding and then realize that prosperity comes from new dollars coming into the community, we're all made better off. But in that city commission meeting, it was so evident they understand it, they get it, and they're supportive, and they put their money where their mouth is. So a little rough way of saying that, but they did a great job.
They've been great partners.
Oh, unbelievable. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.